Don't forget to join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM for Unrestricted.
Welcome once again to Unrestricted. Today, Wednesday, the 28th of May, and the host of Unrestricted is the beautiful Lotus. Lotus, good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, everyone. I feel beautiful, Andre. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you are, inside and out.
How you mean?
So I'd like to thank you for your service.
Thank you, Andre. You're welcome, Andre. I thank you too for supporting this. So good morning to everyone on Facebook, X, YouTube, online, everywhere else. Normal radio.
That's right.
Morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
How are you doing?
I'm good, Andre. I'm good. What about you?
I'm well. Yes.
Calypso is on the...
Oh, yes. I love the tense.
I love it. And
I love the tense.
I've been hearing some songs already.
So far.
I say, wow, it sounds like this year is going to be hot.
I think so.
Yes.
Some good stuff.
Anyway, we digress. So this morning, Andrea, I want to talk about, it's more of a housekeeping topic, but I think it's important. I want to talk about clutter. Clutter and decluttering, and some people, it goes so bad sometimes. It goes into hoarding, and hoarding is more that the research is saying more mental, where it's so bad. I don't know if you've seen back in the day when you watch those shows on TV where you have people who are so sick with hoarding that their house becomes uninhabitable, where they cannot live there because there's so much stuff. But I want us this morning just to discuss, because we don't have a psychologist in house. I want us to talk about the cluttering, and it also affects our own personal lives, because sometimes we have so many things, Andre. I don't know if you're somebody that do you like to hoard things, Andre?
No, at all.
You a minimalist like me? Andre, I am a minimalist. I sometimes throw too many things or get rid of too many things. I find it clogs my brain when there's too many things around. So this
and sometimes that will happen to you. You're throwing away so much that you throw away something that you really need.
That's the thing. So you see, you see, balance is always important, Andrew. But this morning we're going to talk about clutter, because I think a lot of times we don't think about how we can really clear our own lives if we get rid of certain things. And we're going to talk about why we do that and how we can get rid. We have tips of how to clean up our spaces. So clutter is anything you don't need or want or use that takes up your time, your energy, and your space, and destroys your serenity, right? It can be outgrown clothes, your obsolete papers, broken toys, disliked gifts, meaningless activity, ancient resentments, things that you hold on to, or unsatisfying relationships. So really, clutter is sometimes it just takes up space in your house, in your mind, and a lot of us have things that we don't get rid of. Especially old papers I've found, Andre. Why do we hold on to papers that sometimes you don't even remember what we have? And only when you're cleaning, you realize, oh, I have this lease agreement that I when I was renting my apartment since when I was a teenager.
It expired.
It expired. And why do you have it in the house? So many times we have so many things, and some of us, we don't want to share or give away, especially with old clothes, Andre. There are people who need things, and we have some shops that are thrift shops, and one of them is the Salvation Army as well. They do have those shops where you can bring your things, you don't have to throw out all of them. If you think that you have things that you can bring them to these thrift shops and actually sell them. But some of us hold on to these things, Andre. We do not want to share. We do not want to get rid of. We do not want to give. And we will find out why we act those ways. Andre, give the numbers, because I want to make sure that our callers who are cluttering and who have so many things, objects that they don't really need, it's wedged into drawers. Some of the things are neatly stacked. Some people have things that are neatly stacked, but it's a lot. Like you continue to buy shades or perfume. Some people have many bottles of perfume. Andrew, do you like perfume?
Oh, I love cologne.
So you have like
a lot.
on your drawer.
Yeah.
Andre, do you get to use all?
How you mean?
Because that's another thing, Andre. Some of us, we buy things over and over and over again, and sometimes we don't get to use it. It just stays and then it goes bad.
When it comes to cologne,
no,
it gets
you
used.
are definitely okay.
It gets used.
So we may feel overwhelmed, controlled by our possessions, and or doomed to be hopeless. Oh, I told you to give the numbers.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, and I continue talking.
The fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line 572-9710, or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971.
Okay, so no matter how we deal with our clutter, it can be a source of pain and shame to us and to those we live with. Despite this pain, we fear throwing things out. We think we might need it, we might fix it, or wear it again. We don't want to be wasteful or ungrateful. We don't know what to keep and what to discard. So we don't know how much is enough. So we have to really look at our spaces and really think of what clutter means to us and why we hold on to so many things, and you know, how can we detach ourselves from certain things? We often hold on to clutter due to a mix, they're saying, of psychological factors, including sentimental attachment, fear of letting go, and a sense of guilt and or obligation. Objects can trigger memories and emotions, making it difficult to discard them. Fear of the unknown, loss, or wasted resources also contributes to clutter accumulation. Right? So let's talk about the various things, because they did mention a couple things here that help us to keep things or contribute to why we have so much clutter in our lives. And one of the first things we're going to discuss is the sentimental attachment, Andre. Many of us have sentimental attachment to things. We do not want to let go of the thing because it was an old boyfriend who gave it to us, or it was
your mother,
you know. Or I remember one time I had this picture of my children ultrasounds. I had it for a while. Now I think I threw it out after I showed it to them. But the thing about it is that you hold on to these things and then you realize, why am I holding on to these things? But for some reason, it may have some kind of sentimental, value to you, because you feel, okay, this is a picture of your baby when your baby was inside your belly, or or that.
And you feel that if you throw it away, like you're throwing away.
Yes.
Your child.
Or you're going to disrespect.
That's right.
The process in some
that's
way.
Right.
And that's what they're saying. Sentimental attachment. And items can hold personal significance, representing cherished memories and or relationships, right? So getting rid of these items can feel like losing a part of ourselves or our history, which is what you just said. We feel like we're going to lose some part of the history if we throw out these things. But Andre, really, I mean, the callers can let me know, is history only tangible, or it's within? Is it like do we have to hold these things, or can it be a memory in our minds?
I think it can be both.
You see?
Yes.
So how do we now differentiate with when to let go of certain things, because it becomes
That's the question.
There's so much clutter in our lives.
Let me give you a little example of my grandfather. My grandfather used to save old car parts.
Okay.
So say, for example, he goes to a mechanic and he says the brake pad is not good anymore. So they will say to him, okay, you need some new brake pads, Mr. Nicholas. Okay, so they let him keep, because that's how the mechanics operate. They let you keep the old part. He would now take that part and put it in his room. And he kept cluttering. More and more things started adding in his room. And one day I said to him, but Papa, why you have all these old car parts in your room? His answer was that you never know, he might need it. But that's fair.
But if they were not good, I mean,
that's what I said to him.
Good anyway.
Remember, it's not good.
But you see, but again, maybe the attachment, because even like a car, you have a car and you feel like that's part of clutter too.
That's another one.
You don't
want to let it go.
I don't think that happened to me, but I felt kind of bad wanting to sell my old car.
Yes.
Because I felt like she has a name and everything, and I was like, oh my God.
And she served you so well.
She served me so well.
although the SIM cards give you a lot of trouble.
I know. And then when I put her by the road to be sold, I would pass straight and not even watch her, because I feel like I have just discarded. So you see, we do have sentimental feelings about things, but you have to think of letting go at some point. Of course, the second thing is fear of letting go, which we just spoke about. The fear of the unknown, loss or scarcity can lead to holding onto items even if they are no longer useful. This fear can manifest into a belief that we might need these things or items just in case in the future, which is what you just said. So he feels that he might need it just in case, but most times you really don't, because if it's not good or if it has no use for you, I don't know if the use will come up in the future.
But here's an interesting one, Lotus. Somebody had, I think, the very first edition of the Superman magazine, the very first one.
Yes.
It was in mint condition, and he held on to it for years and years and years. And guess what? It's sold at auction for, I think, for $2.7 million.
I was just about to say, Andre, they are collectibles, and in the research it shows the difference between cluttering and collecting. So for some reason, if you have an item, like you say, maybe something that you wouldn't see happening.
Exactly. Who'd have ever thought
that he would probably sell it for so much money?
It was so cheap. I think he paid 1 cent for that or something like that. You understand?
Even stamps. Some people keep old stamps. I remember when I met my husband, he had a book with stamps, so he would collect different stamps from and I thought that was interesting. But after a while, to me again, if it starts to distract or just hold space and nothing is happening with it, because I don't think he has ever sold one of them for $2 million.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
The sunk cost fallacy, where we think that it leads us to hold on to items we've already invested time and money in, even if they are no longer valuable. So some of us do not want to let go because we paid so much money for it, Andre. Sometimes we have an old shoe, something that we really spent money on. You remember when Levi's C17 jeans were in style? Like those Levi's, they were very expensive. So if you bought one, you didn't want to throw it, even if it's not fitting you anymore, and you don't know who it will fit. You keep folding it and putting it back in your drawer.
Yes.
Because you figured that you paid, for some reason, the economic value of that pair of jeans for you, or the shoes, or the chain for you, it just feels like you cannot give it away, or you cannot separate yourself from it because it costs you so much money.
I don't know if you intend to go there, but let me just mention quickly, and if you plan to go there, just let me stop, Andre. Okay? I know for me, a lot of what I was told as a little boy, right, not wasting things and so on, and don't throw food away, don't throw money away. You have all those things in the back of your head.
Well, the next one, it's funny you're saying that. The next one is guilt and obligation.
All right.
Guilt and obligation. So we may feel guilty about discarding gifts or items that were given to us, even if we don't need them or we don't like them. That's a big one, Andre, because many people give us things and we do not like it. But we do not want to get rid of it, or we do not want to, because it will feel like we are ungrateful, or we do not care for the person, or however it will translate. So we hold on to these things out of guilt and obligation. I mean, look in your closet and see how much guilt and obligation you have inside of there, or in your house, because sometimes some gifts are really, really not your style, or not something you would buy for yourself, but you cannot just you do not want to just discard it or give it away.
You know what I have home? I have my late grandmother and late grandfather's passports.
What you doing in that country?
And I have it in my dresser. I have it right there.
Andrew, what you doing with that? What is the use of that?
Well, the other day I wanted to know her age, actually. So I went inside there and I checked it out. But I'm actually holding on to those two things up to now. And they've died years ago.
Do you intend to pass it on to somebody?
No.
Oh my goodness, Andre. I think that's part of your clutter. So this can also extend to items that were purchased with the intention of using them, but we never got around to doing it. That's the other thing. People give you gifts, but you also buy things that you say you're gonna use, and you never end up using it. Especially women. Women can attest to that. We buy clothes, and sometimes we're at a particular weight, and we say, okay, we're going to put that when we lose the weight or when we gain some weight or whatever. And next thing
That's
you know,
a good one.
it is in your closet for 15 years, Andre.
That's true.
And we refuse to give it away. I can tell you, as somebody who loves fashion, I suffer from that. Not all the time, a little bit.
Don't feel so bad.
Huh?
Oprah Winfrey. Remember when she made it public that she was going on this extreme diet and so on? She had a pair of jeans that she said she wore when she was in her teens or whatever.
Yes.
And the whole point was to make sure she put it on for the world to see.
Yes,
she
Andre.
kept on to that. She kept holding on to that thing.
Yes. I have a few pieces that every time I go in my closet to throw things, I see them and I put them right back.
Why?
You see, that's the other thing of where we talk about attachment. So I'm like, no, I cannot. I spend money for that, and I think it's vintage, or I think it's a particular color that I've never seen, or a style that I've never seen. I am not giving that to anybody because I cannot see myself passing and see somebody wearing that. And I have to get into it.
Yes.
So of course that gets to the extreme where, I might just have one or two pieces, but of course many of us have many pieces where we feel obligated to hold a piece, or we say we're going to throw it out and we never throw it out. So we keep putting it back in the house. So that obligation and guilt is something that is really, really serious, where we feel like we cannot throw things, or we cannot give it away, or we feel like if we give it away, somebody will see what we've given away, which is one of their gifts. You've not been given a bad gift, Andre? And I know the person mean well, or even you mean well. Maybe you bring a gift for somebody and it's not a nice gift, and the person just keeps holding on to that, but they don't want to really wear it. What difference does it make, right? If you give me something and you never see me with it, I never wear it, but I just have it at my home.
Well, sometimes the person who gave it to you actually asks you about it, looking out for you to wear it, things like that. So,
but that's what I'm saying, Andre. You do not want to wear it because you really don't like it,
and you don't say to the person,
and you do not want to just give it away,
or say to the person, I really don't like that.
You don't want to be honest about that, so you keep it in your house.
Yeah.
But then, if the person never see you, they feel bad.
Exactly.
Or they say, you know what, I don't think I'll give that person any gifts anymore because she's never worn the shoes that I gave her, or she's never worn the dress. That happens to men a lot. I find sometimes men gives women gifts because I think men are not as meticulous. I'm not saying all men, but I find sometimes they will run and buy something for you and it's just not you. They don't think on it long enough, and you never wear it. And they feel bad on the sidelines, saying, "But I bought her a dress and she never wore it. She never wore the dress." So that obligation is a big one. Other factors, they talk about being overwhelmed, lack of knowledge or instructions, and not having a clear plan for decluttering can also contribute to clutter accumulation. So sometimes you have so many things in the house, you are overwhelmed with it. You don't know what to do with it, and it just keeps building and building and building, and you never get around to taking the time to separating them and making the effort to give them away. So we become overwhelmed, and the house begins to boom with just things and things and things. So look in your house and look around, see what you're really cluttering, what you're buying, and you really keep buying it, and it's just not getting any smaller. They also tie to low self-worth and a need to fill emotional voids that can also lead to hoarding and cluttering. And that one is a serious one, Andre, because I think a lot of us, we do not have good relationships with each other or family friends in our workplaces. We don't have many friends. And so we hold on to things, and we create an emotional bond with those things. Has that ever happened to you, Andre?
Of course. How you mean?
Emotionally, you hold on to your cologne, Andre?
Well, not the cologne. Not the cologne. I wear that, but other things.
Yeah, hold on to things, and emotionally, you keep it in your house, and you just keep buying it because you're looking for a connection with somebody, but you don't have that connection with somebody, and it's more of the connection with the things. So what they're saying is that it can be tied to your low self-worth and the need to fill that emotional void.
Do you think it extends as far as, say, somebody who had a child and they lost the child?
Yes.
maybe tragically or whatever the case may be. And they keep. I remember there was a story in Trinidad where a father, I think I mentioned that already, but they kidnapped his son, and he was always looking out for the boy, that he'll come to the house, and every year he kept putting presents underneath the Christmas tree, thinking that the boy is gonna come back.
Well, Andre, yes, that's trauma. That's trauma, and of course it becomes really bad, because if you keep buying the things to tie you to that child, or even to, if you lost a baby and you keep a room and you fill in that room with baby things baby things, and then it's not just clutter. It's not just collecting things. It's now gone into a problem. And you have to seek emotional you have to seek help. You have to go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a therapist. You have to go and seek help, because then it's becoming unbearable, because then now your family start to be affected by it. That's what happens, Andre. When people start to fill their room with things, and they're not letting go of the fact that they've lost that baby, and that baby is not coming back. So you're right, that it does happen. So that emotional void that people try to fill, you have to see whether or not that's what you're trying to fill. What are you trying to fill? What are you trying to accomplish by constantly filling your house with something and not doing anything with it, and it's just taking up space?
And by the way, what you're talking about today, Lotus, it is so important, because I'm sure everybody listening to us right now can identify with what you're talking about.
Oh yes.
And it's not confined to maybe a certain lower socio-economic order. That's all the way at the top, you know.
Of course, Andre.
All the way at the top.
Of course, anybody. We have habits. Cluttering is also tied. What they're saying is to habits as well. Sometimes you have a habit. Okay, I'll be a little vulnerable. So I am a nail addict. So I love my nails. From a little girl, I used to put, you see those flowers with the little red thing? I used to wear them as long nails when I was a little girl. So I always loved, yes, you know what I mean? Yes.
Petals, yeah.
So I always loved the appearance of nice nails. So my daughter says to me all the time, Mom, you realize that you're addicted, right? And I used to say, no, I just love them. But sometimes when I look at my closet, or I look at my nail bank, I have so many boxes of nails, and like I love press-ons, so I buy them and I buy them. I could buy nails for days and have a set of nails every other day, right? So that it starts to be a cluttering thing, because you realize it's a habit. You really like that, and so you have to look at whether or not it's affecting my pocket. Will I decide to buy a burger or a box of nails? I may go for the nails. You know what I mean? So you have to start to.
Let me ask you one, because I must admit I do it. Say there's a particular cologne that you really loved, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've had it once, you've had it twice, and maybe you moved on, kind of thing. But the bottle is empty. And you leave.
Actually, I do it too. For that, that's a perfect example. I love La Vie est Belle by Lancôme, and I would buy it and I would leave the bottle, and I would keep on watching the bottle because it's so expensive.
That's right.
And sometimes I would watch the bottle, or I would try to use it very sparingly. I would say, okay, maybe I'll just have 2 puffs, and not,
true.
And when it's done, Andre, you're very right. Sometimes I find myself having 3 or 4 empty bottles in my closet, and I'm like, why is it sitting there? For what reason? And so I have to toss it out. Even in my space where I have multiple bottles of different things, you look in there and you see a couple of the bottles, they're empty, and for some reason you're not getting rid of it. You're right. I don't know what it is. You keep holding the empty bottles. So that's part of the decluttering, Andre, where you tell yourself, you know what is the purpose of me holding these things?
True.
What are they doing? Are they causing more grief? What value is it adding to hold an empty bottle?
And also, we need to ask ourselves another very important question. If we have that attitude toward and I'm including myself, toward an empty bottle of cologne, you have to ask yourself, how far in terms of your mental state, how far does that extend? You understand? How far?
This is a very interesting discussion, Andre. You're right, because it also reflects maybe
There's
how you
something
behave.
going on. Yeah.
How you behave with a loved one, with a lover. That's why some of us do not let go of bad relationships, because in one of my readings there, I did mention bad like relationships, right? It's part of cluttering. You hold on to something that's just weighing you down, and you refuse to let it go.
Yes.
And so you can look at that as well, Andre. If you're holding on a couple empty bottles,
Exactly. What else are
you holding on to?
That's right.
And then you have to be able to challenge yourself to put these things out and to let them go. And that's where the challenge begins. I think a lot of us think that it's very easy. We're not here to say that it's easy or to discuss that you have so many things. We know that sometimes people are emotionally attached to their things. It's the same thing with me. I go through the boxes of nails, and sometimes I look at a particular box and it doesn't have enough to make a full set. But I refuse to throw that box, because I'm like, this was expensive. It still has some really nice colors. I cannot see myself throwing it. And then if I say that about one box, I may say that about 6 more boxes. Next thing you know, I am still putting back the 12 packets or the 12 boxes back into my drawer, and still have the same clutter, the same problem. So we really have to think of why we do those things.
Let me give the numbers again, okay? Because I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers can identify what we're talking about today.
Yes.
And what you're talking about is extremely important.
Yeah.
So important that when I leave here today,
you're going to declutter?
I'm going to take out them bottles of, of cologne. I'll take it out.
Yes, this is because sometimes on Unrestricted, there are just various. When I'm looking at topics to discuss, I want us to delve into things sometimes. Of course, we don't think of these things, but these things have really big impacts on our lives, right? And clutter is one of them. And I thought of it, I said, you know what, I don't know if it's not a rural topic, but it's an important topic.
Very, very.
Right?
Okay, let me just give the numbers. The fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line is 572-9710. Or the WhatsApp platform, you can call 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. Again, the fixed line 572-9710 or WhatsApp 287-0971.
Okay.
Come and share your experiences, because we all have them.
I know.
We all have them.
So we're going to talk about how to declutter. To declutter. So we're going to now clean up our houses and maybe our spaces and see how that might, change our perspectives on things. To declutter, break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. Start by choosing one small area like a drawer or a shelf.
Sorry to disturb you.
We have a call?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, that's great.
This is Unrestricted, hosted by Lotus. Here we go.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Lotus and Andre.
Morning.
Good morning.
Listen, I just joined in about maybe 5-10 minutes ago, right? And that sounded so much like me.
Really?
Yeah. My kids used to call me, how do you call them again? Order-like, until I threw a jack, and my son came back for that same jack. He wanted a part from the jack. And he told me, Daddy, if you had that jack there. He came home with where's that jack? I said, but he told me I was holding, so I threw it. But honestly, what I've learned, you clear your dressing table, you put everything down. And then when you pack it back, they don't even have space to put the amount of things you put it back on there. All the things you decide you're going to throw, they're still there.
Back,
you shake it have a little bit. But that brings back memories of when you went there. And you put... So what I do now, I just call a truck, I tell them, just clear it for me. And I had about 5 barrels with stuff. I just call the guy, tell him, and I just let him, I say, just show everything. Anything you see in there you want to take it, just for it, because I am just going to go for it. Yes, I'm just going to go for it and just leave it there again, just go for it. And that one could still be used, that towel could still be used, that curtain could still... it's been in books for about 5 years, but then it's too nice to throw. I just tell them, just take everything and go with it.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes we just have to let go of this stuff. Because, we have every single one of them have sentimental values, An empty perfume bottle. You remember when you were in Martinique or when you were in Dominica or when you were in the States or when your first girlfriend who
That's right.
you gave you that bottle. So you have it for what?
For what? For nothing.
Just close your eyes and just throw them. Do not just, Andre says you want to take them out. He's not going to throw them, he's going to take them out, he's going to put them somewhere. You just dump it. Just dump it.
Yes, I agree.
Nice program. Always nice program. program.
Thank
Sometimes I
you.
don't call. I don't have the time to call, but I'm always listening.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
See, you see,
Yes,
we are
Andrew.
all going through it, all of us.
And
Okay,
you
to
know,
some degree or the
my
other.
trick. Once I don't miss it, like if I don't know it's there and I can't remember it, I don't need it. That's what I tell myself, and I think it works because when I look at my closet, if I see something and I'm like I cannot use it, what is it doing there? Like, and if I don't remember that I need it, to me it cannot be that important, because if it's not in my mind or if it's something I don't miss, why is it there?
Exactly.
So that's my trick. That's just me personally. If I don't miss it, I get rid of it.
So is that what you're saying? This is what you've the stance you've adopted?
Yeah, for myself.
For yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
If I don't miss it, when I look in the closet, if I see things and I'm like, I didn't even know I had that there. That's the thing about it, Andrew. You don't even know what you have. It's when you open the closet and you start to look at your things, then you realize, you have stuff.
Yes,
We have another call.
We certainly do. We're having a lot of clutter this morning from the calls.
Good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Lotus. Morning.
Good
Hi,
morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a hoarder, but
Okay.
when I do have clothes that don't fit anymore, they still fit, but I just don't like the comfort anymore, and I give it away. It haunts me.
Really?
It
How
stays
so?
with me. Yeah, like I said, I shouldn't give away that dress. I loved it. If it's a particular piece of clothing I really loved, I love how it fitted me when it fitted me right, and I give it away, it would bother me a lot. Like, oh my God, that dress, I shouldn't give away that dress.
Oh.
I shouldn't. But I'm not really a hoarder per se. I like to clean up a lot. I clean up basically every day and get rid of stuff. But when I give away clothes I really love,
Uh-huh.
it haunts me. Like,
Well,
I
what
said,
you
oh my
do
God,
you
I
think-
really love that dress. I shouldn't give it away.
Do you think you'll ever be ready to separate yourself from the dress? Because maybe you're not ready. Maybe you're giving away the dress prematurely.
Yes, I think that's what it was. I think that's what happens. I give it
Okay.
away too soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I could have left it. Yeah, but that's just my issue. But I'm not a hoarder. Like Andre, get rid of this empty bottle perfumes, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller.
I will. I'm serious today.
No,
I'm
no.
going to throw them out today.
She's right. Sometimes we give away things prematurely, but we have to separate ourselves from it. So I was saying start by choosing a small area to declutter. So we're going to try to declutter now. We
Okay, you
choose-
have another call.
I have
Sorry to disturb you.
Okay.
Another call.
I was trying to
This
do
is
it.
Unrestricted.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lotus.
Lotus.
Right.
Morning.
Well, I
Morning.
think a lot of us find ourselves in situations like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because the first time... Hold on, Andre. Let me put down that radio.
Okay, this is the live broadcast of Unrestricted with
Yes.
Lotus.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
The radio was interfering with
Okay.
my talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing you spoke about, death and so on. Oh yes, I did go through, and that kept me for 4 long years,
Mm-hmm.
and I just could not get rid of my son's stuff.
Mm.
He was dead already, 16 years he died, and I could not get rid of it. And I imagine it would affect me. I would cry when I see the things, but yet I'm not getting rid of it.
Wow.
And it took me the 4th anniversary, my sister from England, I don't know what vision she had, but she called me and she told me, you see, you just go and get yourself 9 natural red roses and go and put it on the tomb. And I did that. She could not even remember she told me that. I did it, and I finally got rid of everything.
Wow.
Was able to get rid of, was not crying again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I had a baby who died the same year. A little girl, I love girls, my little girl, and I was prepared for that and all the clothes I bought for my little girl. I say I'm not giving it to anybody, I keep it there.
Aww.
Eventually I just gave up. After a time, you get over it.
Yes,
It's
'cause
just
it's
like
like a
grief.
trap,
After
yes.
a time, it takes you time. That maybe that lady who gave out her clothes, maybe she gave it, as you said, prematurely.
Yes.
So, myself with my things is clothes and bags.
Mm-hmm.
the bags, I don't want to give it away. It ripping, it tearing, it comes. I don't want to give it away. But these are things that we have, and it's true. It's filling up our house with all these things. But sometimes, as the man said, you give it, and after you give it away, you see a need for it.
But no, it's a trick. It's the trick.
Yeah,
it's the
but
trick.
sometimes you need it. You really say you miss it.
Get another one.
Yes, I'll put clothes there, and I going back at it, and I say, Missy, that dress, I'm not giving it away again. Oh, no, I'm not giving that one away again. You know,
boy.
So it is just, we put it there, give it away one time.
Yes.
So
Thank
we
you.
not go back to it.
Thank
you know,
you.
so it's an interesting topic.
Teacher Jean, before you go away, Teacher Jean, just a quick question. Are you saying you've lost 2 children?
Pardon?
Are you saying that you've lost 2 of your own children? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
the same year.
Wow.
The same year?
1999.
Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling us what happened, if you don't
A
mind?
baby girl in March, and I had my 16-year-old. He was going to Cairo. He died in October.
So how did they die?
Andre, it is. I don't want to say. You see this about the doctor and so on. I just.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about this thing.
Understood.
Okay.
That's why the following year, God gave me another son. All right? I got pregnant the following year, 2000. I had another son, and I didn't have him here in St. Lucia. I had him in England because I couldn't face the hospital again. Yeah, I couldn't face the hospital. But anyway, that's God's will. Maybe I was supposed to have 2 children alone, and 2 children I have, so I was not supposed to have more.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Andre,
sharing.
can you give me a little moment just to reach out to some people for a meeting on Monday next week? Association Saint-Lucie, Territoire Française des Amériques. It's a French association with St. Lucia we are members of. And we have our monthly meeting on Monday. And that is on the 2nd of June at the City Hall at 5 p.m. Please, members, be on time and come. We have a lot to talk about. The French carnival people are coming down, and they are responsible for them when they are here. So make sure that they come to prepare. Okay, thank you, Andre. Although
You're
I
welcome.
take the you charging me?
That's now that you mentioned it, I'll give that some thought. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a nice one.
Yes. Okay, Andre.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Lotus, imagine that.
Yeah.
Losing 2 children.
And you know what she said? You see the death thing? That is a big cause of clutter. Because it's to get rid of people's stuff. It's a sentimental, connection that you have. And so you cannot separate yourself from the things.
And there's a feeling of like if you throw it away,
betrayal.
If you throw it away, you feel like you're throwing away the child. That's how you feel. Or like you're abandoning the child.
Like yes, the whole process. And also, I think, I mean, that has not happened to me, but Andre, just the grief of separation, I mean, you lose something, and I guess that's the only way you can hold on to it is to or the memory of it is to keep the things.
All the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
you have
at some
a
point,
call. You have another call.
Okay.
This is Unrestricted with Lotus.
Hi.
Good morning.
Lotus.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andre.
Morning.
Yes. A very good topic that you have there, because this is something, as you say, that I think all of us in some form or fashion, suffers from. And I think one of the biggest reasons is uncertainty or a sense of loss.
Yes.
For example, with like Andre gave with car parts, and the guy called and spoke about the old jacket thrown and did a part. It's just so amazing that the day you decide to throw something out, the same week, or even the next day, you need it.
You
need something in it. So that is one of the reasons why we tend to hold on, especially things like electronics and stuff like that, where you can get a part from it. But it's there sitting down there for years and say, boy, you just throw that. And you throw it and then something happens. So you see that gas, the pattern, and now I have to go and buy it. I have to go and buy it now. So I think that's one of the reasons, especially when it comes to things like old car parts or something like that you may need something from it, and the day you decide to throw it is when you need it. So it's a hard balancing act, when to throw these things. You know you need to get rid of them, but that is in the back of your mind that, boy, I can use something in that. I know I can use it, and then you throw it, and it's just so amazing that day you throw the thing, you need it. That's when something comes up and you need it. So that's one of the things. The sentimental value is a very, very big one. I remember going to my drawer, I see an old letter from a girl, long. I still leave it there. I throw it yet,
Is it because the words made you feel good and you just want to hold on to that?
Well, I'm not even sure if it's the words, just the fact that the person wrote you a letter. You just think, boy, that person wrote me a letter, I want to. So there are so many different things. So it is up to us at the end of the day to find a way to get rid of certain things. And we have to try to sever the umbilical cord at some point, especially, with things that will never change in our lives again,
Yeah.
So those things we have to try to make a determination when these things are absolutely just nothing you could do. It will not bring back the dead, it will not do this, it will not do that. That relationship will never come back. So that's just one thing. I think each of us have to find a way to sever that cord eventually. But in terms of the parts and things like that, these ones could be a little difficult because, like you said, there is some value in it. And sometimes you just tend to keep it there in that hope, and sometimes it never comes. But that's just what it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Concerning, not as yet, concerning the issue of some things that are probably wise to keep holding on to, although they're old and decrepit, right?
Yeah.
I developed the habit of holding on to old bills.
Okay.
Sometimes those bills years ago. Now, you know why that happened? You know why? I'll tell you exactly why that happened.
Forgot.
but my grandfather, right, used to have a habit of, he used to hold a lot of stuff. So he'd keep the old receipts. He used to put it in a hanger, and he would fasten the receipt to the hanger, and that was there. The paper was all together and yellow and everything. There's cobwebs on that, but he had that in his room for years and years and years. He was just there collecting, right? Until one day he got a call from the Castries Constituency Council telling him that he owes house and land taxes. Okay, and he said, but no, I know for a fact because I was close enough to know my grandfather didn't play by those things. And he said, okay, let me go and see if I can get the receipts. And he was able to go into all the yellow stuff,
and get his
cobweb, and he got all his receipts, right? And because they said he owed thousands of dollars. So good thing that he didn't throw it away. So from that time, I say, you see that thing? I hold on to receipts.
I mean, that one is not a bad thing, Andre, but I think you can give it you can put a timeline on it. I don't know that I want to hold bills for 5 years.
Now, up until recently, right? Up until about a week ago, to be honest with you, I had some old receipts in my vehicle for the same thing. I'm always thinking, just in case. And I said, something, I think now maybe it's a safe time to let go of those.
And you know why I think it's important to let go of bills now? Well, I mean, it's one of the bigger reasons because things are digitally kept now. So instead of you keeping a copy of it, they can always go back and get a copy.
And plus now, the quality of the bill,
you may not be able to see it.
Exactly, it disappears in less than no time. You have another call. You have another call.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Hello.
Hello.
Guten Morgen, bonjour.
Good morning.
Ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi?
C'est moi aussi. C'est très bien.
Okay.
Andre, how are you this morning?
I'm okay. I'm fine. You doing well?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
And by the way, partner, that fish was knocking. I have to tell you that was knocking. I'll say so publicly.
I don't know. I think I just.
He cooked some fish, Lotus, and he shared it with me.
And it was really
nice. It was really, 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 really nice. Okay. Yeah. Well done.
Is It's deliberate. I did that, so that you could be my voice. So I'm not the one saying it. You are the one saying it. So deliberately, I'm doing it. So you are my manager when it comes to good stuff.
And I did a good job of warming it up.
Oh boy, nobody beat you at that for sure. Anyway, St. Lucia. Good morning, St. Lucia. Can I add my 2 cents to the subject?
Yes,
please?
yes, of course.
Lotus, it may or may not work for some of us, but with Andre speaking about his granddad and the car parts and the bills he talked about with his dad, and then it works for some because sometimes the timing may be great. You don't see it coming, but life have a way of repeating itself. We know in life one day something gonna happen for the first time, and that may be the time that you need that old thing to go and take it back and prove a point. Okay? Because why about the old part? Andre, I know you. When you take off tires off your vehicle, it don't have to be threaded for you to take it off. The brakes don't have to be on the metal for you to take it off. But sometimes it have happened to me where somebody would ask me the tire I take off. Okay? So these things do happen, or you have these brakes there. If in case you could not get the brakes at the time, they're out of it, and then you say, oh, shooks, I had some brakes there. It wasn't finished completely, But I think I could. So this is what happens, because it happens to me too. There are certain things I have there, that I will not throw away. Like, for instance, I have an engine block. The engine block is not to say the engine block is not good, but there's parts in there I could still use. I could use the pistons, I could use the water pump, the bottom pump, so many things in there. So this is why it's not just good to just throw it away, because you could go back and tell your story as I'm doing right now. Okay? And all the people that call, this is just a harsh reality. Certain things you will just have to put on a side, not throw away. But let me tell you something, a real story, quickly. There was somebody I was dating some years ago, about in 1998. I used to love writing letters because I could write nice, properly, penmanship and everything. Andre could tell you that. And let me tell you something. I write that letter, and after years, 20-something years, that we break up. I still had that letter there.
Really?
Yes, really. I like the way you say that, really. Who does that?
Well,
just to show you when you had cursive, like you write in cursive, a punctuation mark and everything. It's like right now it's text. So it goes back and says, but look at that. I do admire, because once it happens to me, Lotus, Andre, and then listening public, I went to an interview at, I would say where, it doesn't matter because it's a good story, Viking Traders, and the gentleman, when I present my resume, my letter, the man looked at me and he said, the owner, he said that, who write this? Already, when elder man speak to you for authority, who write this? And I said, me. You write this? I said, yes, sir. Instead of just complimenting me, the man tell me, you don't even start working there yet, but you're already lying to me. Yeah, and again, the worst thing is I went to the beach the Sunday and I had the interview. So my eyes red, of course, because I'm a young man. When you go to the beach, until your eyes they get red, or you start eating dry coconuts on the beach, which was like a cultural thing. Guess what? When I go to the interview next day, they will tell me, he asked me if I'm smoking. I tell him, no. You're not smoking? And you're lying again? Because I said to myself, look at what happened to me. It reminds me of when Andre was giving his story about the man fatted in the office and he had to put his phone on.
Oh, you remember that? He's laughing at that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help you.
That's okay.
I couldn't help you. Forgive me.
Well, we thank you. We thank you for your contribution. and enjoy the rest.
I have to finish laughing.
Yes.
Everyone died. Okay, Anthony, have a nice day. That's a joke I've shared on the air.
Apparently,
So
he was having a good
bringing
time.
it up.
So anyway, but we wanted to just wrap up the cluttering thing. So we know there are many reasons why we keep things, but again, just to make sure that we can clear our spaces and separate ourselves from things, and have a new perspective. We can clear everything out, sort them, and decide what you're gonna keep and what you're not going to keep. Donate or toss. So there are some things you can donate and some things you just have to throw out. So don't give things to people that it's not good anymore. But you can donate some things that are still, it still have use.
You have a caller. This is Unrestricted with Lotus.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Lotus.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. Fine, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Lotus, Andre, thanks for accepting my calls.
Yes, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Lotus, I believe there are people who are born not to throw things,
Why you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, because even my mother is one of them. I can say my mother is one of them. Sometimes when I visit my mother, I see my mother have a box in her bedroom, Yeah. With some things there. Like remember the straightening combs? Remember you used to put that on fire?
Yes.
I saw the lady have all those things, all iron. So once I asked her, Mom, but why you have those things there? Her answer was that when my father left her, my father took mostly everything he had given her, and these are the things my father didn't take. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the answer to me. But I said, Mom, you're my mother is 77 years old, But I said, Mom, my father left you because I never see my mother and father talk to each other. I see my mother for so long. She told me she's not throwing that. Because I said, but Mom, why? She told me she has this thing there to remind her that she will never talk to my father.
Wow. So you see you see what's happening. The clutter, even her keeping the things, it keeps her from forgiving him. It keeps her from letting go
right.
and forgiving him. Yes. I like that example.
So those things, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And even my cousin, I went to her house to her home once, and I saw the girl have dolls, a typewriter. I said, but Maggie, why you have those things there? She told me that was her first typewriter, and that's dolls her mother used to buy for her. So some people, I believe, are born just to have things they will not throw.
Mm.
Yeah. So but I believe it's mostly in the older generation, but the young generation, I believe they throw things very fast.
Very fast. Okay.
They don't, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a really good example, Andre. You see, again, I don't think she has not forgiven his father, so she holds on to the things to remind her. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine
so
that.
That's part of why we should let go of things, is to forgive, let go. Put items away. Just repeat the process. Set a time limit when you are going to throw your things. Don't say you're going to do it and never do it. Get to it. I think that's one of the reasons why we have so much clutter in our spaces, is because we say we'll get to it, and we never do. And when we check ourselves, we have 5 boxes in the space.
We have another call.
Mm-hmm. And it's Unrestricted. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, first time caller, Andre Paul.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, I just want to give a little scenario there, things that happened to me concerning having stuff, you don't want to throw away.
Oh, that's my partner. Hey, morning. How are you?
Yeah, morning.
All right, thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, I remember my wife, she bought me a nice pair of shoes, and I used to use it occasionally, it's not something I used to use every day, and she used to have it stored up there. One day, I had to go to old school dance at Spinner's there, and then by the time I came home, my clothes was already there, my shoes, so I just bathed and I dressed and I left to the dance. In the dance there, Andrew, I gained it good. I realized my foot get a little light, so I walked off the dance floor and I went by the stage to a series of lace, to tie it up not realizing the whole soul of the shoe stayed on the dance floor. And
So it was dry rot.
When I walked back, and I saw the sole of the shoe on the dance floor, I went back and, in a smart way to just try and put my foot on top of it and drag it off. I got a solution word.
That's funny.
Everybody gave me the solution word. And I felt so embarrassed because I knew that shoe had its time already. But, again, you don't want to throw things. So the shoe stayed there and it dry rot, man. And that happened to me in the dance.
Yes.
You know what I did? I went back home. I changed and I come back. And I held that shoe there for a while. Because I always say, well, I'll get somebody to sew it back for me. Until one a day, the thing just take me and I throw it away,
Yeah.
So there are times you have to throw things away. But I go throw my wife away.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Okay, partner. Thanks for calling.
That was a good.
Let's take a final call. Take a final call. Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Andre.
Hello. Hi. Morning.
I just want a clarification between hoarding and recycling, because my daughter throws my things away all the time. I have to hide them for her not to throw them away. And this cycle goes on all the time. I tell her you have to reuse, recycle, and save the planet. I save the containers from the lunch and so on and so forth. And I have to hide them, wash them in hot water, quick, wipe them, put them away, hide them for her not to throw them away. So can I be considered a hoarder if I want to recycle? Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That's a good question, because for me, it's the same thing. I throw out everything. I don't want no bowls, plastic bowls. Now, recycling is good because if you can reuse them, it's good. But when you start to get too many bowls that you're not using, in your cupboards are full, now you're attracting all kind of things, rodents, flies, whatever, because the cupboards are full, it's falling out. There's a difference. Hoarding is when you are so connected to these things, you refuse to throw them because you have no use for them. But if you're recycling, you're using them. You're actively using them. But I don't know about it's the extent. It's always about balance, and we always talk about balance here. So that's what you have to take into consideration, whether there's a balance or not. And I know some people have a lot of bowls at their home, like just containers, like everywhere is containers. So find a balance to determine what is okay and what is not.
Let me apologize for what happened earlier.
Yes, Andre. Nobody noticed.
Some people did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people did.
Because people were.
So, without having to explain anything, I'll just say I'm sorry when you wear many hats.
Yes.
As I do at our station, so I had to go and take care of something very important.
Yes. Yeah. Andre, I was a little afraid. I was like, oh my God, is Andre going to come back?
I said to myself, oh my God, I left it there by myself.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, But yeah, so be consistent, take breaks. Decluttering can be tiring, so take a break. You can put some things out today and put the rest of the things out another day, so you don't have to do it in one go. Focus on the process so that you continue to clean and continue to make your life lighter. And be kind to yourself. Decluttering is a journey, not a destination. So you don't have to do it one time. It's over time you can get to clean, but I think it's necessary for us to declutter our lives. You see things a little clearer. Andre, anytime my office get too papery, I cannot think clearly. I have to clear my desk or clear my office so that I could start to really see the light. And I think it's the same thing with cluttering. If you have too many things, you will not be able to see, literally. So clean them out so you can have a clearer vision.
And I said earlier during the program that maybe this is a manifestation of something deeper going on within us.
Yes.
And how it can extend maybe in other spheres of our lives.
Yes.
So it's a serious wake up call for all of us. Lotus, thank you very much for this topic this morning.
You're very welcome.
It was very, very important.
Yes.
Because I was just asking myself for truth, why do I have those empty bottles of cologne?
So now, Andrew, you have to do some reflecting and some decluttering.
Yes. And it makes you, as I said, wonder maybe this is how you're handling other avenues of your life.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, Andrew, because now you can start to think. But you missed part of the show when the young man was saying how his shoes stayed on the dance floor because of sometimes we clutter so much, the shoes dry rot. And the things are not good. That's what he was saying. So he was dancing and his whole soul stayed on the dance floor.
Okay.
Because the shoe was not good. He had it there for a while, and so we have to kind of take things out. And
so did you tell him I walked on for a second?
No, I didn't say that.
Say anything?
But yeah, no, I didn't say anything because people were speaking. So yeah, but but yes, thank you so much for listening. This was definitely an interesting conversation. Thank you to the callers for calling and sharing. It's sometimes when it's certain topics we don't get people, but I think everybody can identify with cluttering and decluttering. Yes. So
and also I think we have a hard time making ourselves vulnerable, because even you said it earlier, I'll make myself vulnerable now.
Yes.
We don't like to do that.
We don't like.
So I think that's why some of the topics important. People feel I don't want to make myself vulnerable. Yeah.
But this is what Unrestricted is about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Lotus.
You're
as
welcome,
always,
Andre.
until next week Wednesday, same time, 9:00 for another Unrestricted. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for supporting me.
Alrighty. So stand by now for Hard Drive. That's coming up in just a moment. Those of you on Facebook, etc., we'll just take a little break and get back to you in a minute.
Hi, this is Lotus. Join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia 97.1 FM for Unrestricted.